And hello, welcome to episode 2 of Matchup Monday. I am your host, Maya, or Miasma on Twitter. You can check us out on Anya's Discord server. So happy to be doing our next episode in our series, and I'm very happy to have a wonderful Lili player here. Everyone, give it up for Loose Leaf. How are you doing today?
Hello, Maya. I'm great. My name's Loose Leaf. I am a Lily player from the Midwest US, and I'm excited to be sharing some of her secrets with you today.
So, where can people find you, and where can people challenge you?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. That's at Lily Pinality. I guess I'll spell it out. LILIPINIALITY. I think I spelled that right.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, if you'd ever want to play or whatever, or learn Lily matchup stuff, feel free to shoot me a DM.
Now, for those of you who weren't here for Matchup Mondays #1, our first host was the Deer Queen herself, Anya, showing us an Asuka showcase. We are always looking for hosts and pros to show us the ropes, but without further ado, let's start with the interview for function. So, Loose Leaf, tell us about yourself. Anything doesn't have to be just about Tekken.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a competitive Tekken player from the Midwest, specifically from Illinois. I've been playing for 2 years now, and I really, really like Lily. Uh, yeah,
We were talking before we started the recording here that you caught the tail end of Seven, much like myself, and it
yes.
just kind of captivated you. But I think the bigger question is why Tekken? Why the most complicated and knowledge intensive fighter there is?
I think like I've always had like a passing interest in fighting games, and never really got into them as much. But Tekken was always the one that looked the most interesting to me. I have some experience with like 3D modeling and stuff, and like just like moving around in a 3D plane, especially in the way Tekken does it, where it's like super freeform and like you can really like move in the different axes, kind of however you want. I just really really liked that aspect of it, and just like I think 3D fighters in general, uh, just like the combat feels a little bit more. I don't want to say grounded, but just like there's less like projectiles and stuff, and that was like always appealing to me because it felt a little bit more like a real fight.
Sure,
So,
sure.
yeah,
So
always was interested in Tekken.
is there anything that isn't Tekken that you're playing or focusing on a lot these days?
Nope, just Tekken, especially since Tekken 8 came out. I'm interested in playing the new Virtual Fighter whenever that comes out.
Yeah,
But
I think we're all
yeah,
trying to figure out, is it going to be a remake, or are we getting a legit, real deal new Virtua Fighter game?
yeah, I'm excited either way.
Who'd you play in Virtua Fighter, or who would you like to play?
Oh, who would I? I don't know. I think I'd have to explore the roster a lot, but yeah, I don't really have an answer.
It's all good. I think I've always been an Eileen fan since she popped on, but if you would have asked me before she appeared, I would have said literally anybody. Sarah? Question mark. All right. The next question is about just content creation, this wonderful community that we have. Is there any Tekken streamer, content creator, any video person that you find yourself watching a lot? Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Ooh, people to give a shout out to. Anya for sure. I think she's the best. Especially if you're looking for coaching or tournaments or whatever. She does everything, and very appreciative to her for everything she's done. Who else do I watch? I feel like I don't watch a ton of Twitch, but oh, I love Quiet Face Miles. She's amazing. Tricky Eileen, who's like a high level virtual fighter that's learning Tekken right now, has
Heck
been
yes.
amazing.
The
Yeah.
best jazzy
Um,
streams and the best learning and some of the best
yeah, it's just such a good vibe.
you've such good videos on like mentality and how to actually approach learning. I've just loved how different and unique her content's been.
Yeah. And also Hi, he's Kakashi on Twitch. He hosts like lobbies and first attends, and I think
Oh
he
yeah, you
he does a lot
recently
for
had
like
a first to 10 with a Oscar player, right?
yeah, I played one of the people from the Michigan Discord, Scarlett, and yeah, they do that every Friday, and it's like a really good learning experience. So yeah, shout out to him, and just like the Michigan Tekken Discord and community in general has been a really fun space to improve and meet some very chill people. So yeah,
So, what was a first to 10 format with such a prolific player like? What did that feel like? Is it different than a tournament set?
I mean, I think it's just, for me, it's more fun because I really enjoy like adaptations and counter adaptations, and like it's so hard to do in a first to two format. So yeah, I think playing that long set, even though I totally got whooped, like was really cool just because I could kind of pick out things that I wanted to adapt to, and then over the course of the set, like see those adaptations happening. So yeah, I really like long set Tekken
Awesome.
more than first to two Tekken in most ways.
Yeah, it's some people actually keep themselves from long sets because they feel like they get downloaded or they give away all of their secrets. But I love them. You really get stuff committed to memory when you get hit by it over and over for 20 sets.
Exactly.
So yeah, our last two questions on this portion. Now this one was recommended by our audience and it kind of stuck. If you could take a short vacation, maybe 1 or 2 weeks anywhere, where would you go?
Actually, good timing because next week I'm taking a trip to Tokyo, which I'm like super jazzed about. And I feel like that would be my answer. And yeah, I'm excited that it's finally happening.
I'd have to agree with you. I've been, traveling a lot in my life and I've had a lot of pleasure to go to Japan and I could go other places, but I still am a weeb and want to go there every time.
For sure, for sure. I'm
Right.
super excited.
And our last question, because you are our host, we're going to throw it back to you. Is there any question you'd like to ask the next host?
Ooh, this is just like general, like not Tekken related
Yeah.
necessarily.
Well, maybe a little bit of both. I'd like both, to be honest.
Ooh, maybe like if you could play any character other than your main, like who would it be?
Sure, sure. I love it. All right, so let's get into the business. Let's get into the Tekken questions. And after the Tekken questions, we're going to go through your Lili demonstration, get through some of our audience questions, and then after that, we'll get into some matches. So, in relation to Tekken, this is where we get into the meat of the bones. How do you warm up, or how do you sit in practice mode before either a rank set or an important first to 10 with someone, or even maybe you're about to be in a tournament and you're in a warm up room?
Yeah, I think like when I'm playing ranked, and this is kind of maybe a bad habit, but I usually treat the first like couple matches as my warm up. Like I definitely spend time like warming up movement, yeah, like kind of just moving around, getting my like hands warmed up. Lily doesn't have a ton of like high execution stuff, so there's not a ton to warm up there, but there is a couple cancels and stuff that are helpful to like practice a little bit. And then when I'm in the like ranked queue, I'll practice my combos or whatever, and just like practice getting them to the wall from whatever position I happen to be in
Sure.
is like a pretty good way to do that. Before a tournament, like I will play some ranked, and then if it's an offline tournament, like I'll try to get there pretty early and like play casuals while I'm there. Um, yeah, so that I feel like get used to the like playing on the setups because
Sure.
sometimes there's a lot of like input delay or like different what's the word, like different situations that it just feels very different than playing at home sometimes. So yeah, that's kind of my warm up.
So this is matchup Mondays, so we got to ask the question, is there any matchups you personally struggle with, whether it's just
Ooh,
something
yeah.
personal or something because they're just that difficult?
I mean, I think with how new this game is and how like overwhelming a lot of these like characters can be, I tend to struggle with June. I think there's still a lot that I'm like trying to figure out with her. Um, Azucena feels like a really tough matchup for me. Who else is in this game? Um,
You don't struggle with Reina?
I don't really. I mean, don't l- like. I learned that character myself, and I think that helped a lot.
Sure.
She can be annoying, absolutely, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Who else is in this game? Let me look up the roster. Um,
I'll give you an easy question while you look that up, but simply put, for any personal reason, what's your favorite move that Lily has?
ooh, ooh, ooh. maybe like this is kind of like a weird answer, but this move back one is like very very versatile and can like lead into a lot of like the like mind games and pressure things that I really enjoy about the character. So I think that's one of my favorite moves. There's the classic Matterhorn down 2+4. Um, and what else? Oh, this new move from in Tekken 8, so good, love it.
Oops, I love it.
Um, but also okay, back to matchups that I struggle with. I really struggle with the Elisa matchup right now for
Oh
whatever reason.
yes, I definitely
Yeah,
slept on her originally. I'm like, she's the same. She's been the same since six, and I have been blown up because of that.
yeah, it's pretty tough. And King annoys me, but like I think I can figure it out.
All right. What is the technique or practice thing that you studied that really made a difference in your gameplay? What was the concept or the time that you spent that really made a difference?
I think like learning how to control timing was like the main thing that like started to level up my gameplay just like by figuring out how to use pokes to like either stop your opponent from pressing or like create opportunities for to move and like yeah, restrict their options to like force them to play more compact.
Yeah, that makes
So
a lot
like
of
things
sense.
like this, like that kind of thing was really really important for me. And I think it's just like a really like universally good Tekken skill to develop is just like timing.
All right. And the most important question to my waifu loving butt, which is why is Lily, your character? Why is she special to you?
Yeah. Well, I definitely took a while to like arrive on her as a main. Like I experimented with a bunch of characters for like my first year of playing Tekken. And Lily was one of the ones that I never really thought I'd get into just because at first she really annoyed me. But then I kind of really started to learn about her and her playstyle and started to really really fall in love with the character. And then I realized like playing as a pretty girl character like definitely revealed some things about like my own like identity that have been pretty transformative for me. So yeah, I don't know. She's just like really fun. The community of like people that main her, as much as people sometimes like talk bad about Lily mains, like people that I've met who main Lily are like some of the sweetest people, and yeah, it's just like a really really like wholesome little community to be a part of. Yeah,
I would agree with that 100%. I'm a June main and I feel the same. Everyone's been welcoming, helpful, no secrets are kept. But yeah, that's really great to
exactly.
hear. Well, thank you for that. And let's move on to why we're here. This is Matchup Mondays. You're here with Loose Leaf. So, Loose Leaf, we're going to start this off with our Lily demonstration. Feel free to take the wheel and tell me what to do, but I do have it written here that we're going to start off with the game plan and kind of neutral. So, round starts. I'm against a Lily. What am I even thinking or doing? What am I worried about? Is she gonna hop kick me on start? What's going on?
Yeah, so I think the number one thing that you have to be like conscious of when it comes to fighting Lily is her lateral movement, her sidesteps. She has the best sidestep in the game. It can avoid things that like other character sidesteps typically don't, and she can also step some things in the wrong direction, which is kind of funny to me. So like really if you fight a Lily player who likes to sidestep a lot, definitely be conscious of like the moves that you're choosing, and the direction that they're sidestepping in, and yeah, be like don't get careless about using linear moves because she can really really blow you up for things that you wouldn't think are like big mistakes. So that's definitely a big thing to be like conscious of. I think in terms of like the ranges you're playing at, she likes to play from like kind of like this distance-ish, like sort of a mid-range, but when she gets up in your face, she can really like pressure you hard with like things like this into that. Like she can definitely continue that pressure really well. So I would be like conscious of like the distance that you're playing at because it is very different when she's like coming at you like this versus when she's already up in your face and like doing stuff like this. Um, yeah, so the pressure gets like from range, like Here, she's just trying to like hit you with her long range moves like that, like that, like that.
Wow, that
But
range
when
is
she's in your face,
crazy.
yeah, she has a really really good range in this game. And but she's also very like good at close range. So and also this is kind of the range where her sidestep is the most like deadly because she can like poke you and then sidestep. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's
I,
something to be really careful about.
I know you have it
Um,
noted here that there's a big difference in the style of play if you're playing against a low, an intermediate, or a high ranked Lily.
for sure, yeah. So I think like you can Lily's one of the characters where you can really tell how strong a player is by like the moves that they choose and like the tools that they choose to utilize. So like not every Lily even like tries to sidestep, which I think is not the optimal way to play her. But at lower ranks, you might see her doing like a lot of like cartwheel spams. Like this move, which is we'll get to later, but it's like a very annoying move. And stuff like her snake edge uh, definitely things to worry about if you're in the lower ranks. At sort of like an intermediate level, I think you'd see a lot of like back turn spam, which we'll get to later as well. Her back turn stance is really, really good in this game, um, but I think it needs to be mixed in with like some of her more fundamental tools. And at higher levels of play, you will see like a lot of really compact and safe poking. So like some of her plus frame moves, some of her like mental frames, which is another thing I'll talk about later, and like a lot of like situations where it's like really ambiguous whether you should be challenging her or not. Um, and those are kind of the mind games that I think she really excels at. And like ultimately, the game plan is to set up sidesteps, but yeah, I think how that happens tends to be very different at like different levels. So yeah, if the Lily's not sidestepping, they're probably not the most experienced player. So something to be wary about. Don't fall for her cheesy moves. She like has this like what's it? I keep misinputting it because I never use it. Oh, it's 1 2 4. That used to
Yes.
really really make me mad. But don't fall for that stuff.
Sure.
So yeah, I think those are kind of the broad differences between different levels of play.
So before we get into the key moves, I think it's important, especially because small Tekken comes before big Tekken. Could you tell us
Yep.
about the key pokes and what kind of is her basic keep out and what are her pokes?
Yes. So, like with every character, jabs are very important. She has generic one jab, and that can go into a couple different extensions. She can do this. She can do this, and this has like a little mix-up extension as well. And new to Tekken 8, she has this, which transitions into back turned. She has her main low pokes are like down three, down 1 2, which is like really more of a chunky low than a poke. But what else? Generic down four, which they super nerfed in this game. Um,
Now, these pokes, they don't seem too risky or too negative.
yeah, they're super safe. And that's like I think what I meant about like how more advanced lilies like can play very very safe and compact. Like you can really win with just like these three moves. I wouldn't recommend it, but like she has a really strong small Tekken game plan. Um, and yeah, it can be really really like a low risk way to play the character.
Love it. Well, tell us about the key moves. What are the things
Yeah.
we need to know, or what are the things we're gonna get hit by?
Yeah, so the one that's kind of infamous is this cartwheel. Um, I would definitely call it a key move. It is a launcher on normal hit if you can just get hit by this.
Oh,
Um, yeah, it's super linear, so that's kind of the counterplay. But yeah, it's a launcher. Um, it is safe on block, and it also has like an extension to prevent like mashing too hard. Although you can float her out of that.
so what
And then it leads
happens
to a
in that scenario where people are trying to poke because they see two different back turns and they want to hit a button?
For sure. Wait, let me wait for it to reload. My fight pass leveled up.
Yeah.
Um, So
Yeah,
yeah, like if I know that they're gonna try and mash me out of back turn, like I can just finish the string. So yeah, if you kind of just stay patient, I think you can get like a little punish. Could you try doing like a 12 frame move?
whoop, too
Yeah,
early.
you can float if you can jab her out of the string, but then like if you do that, yeah,
That's
is
a
there you
12
have like a
frame
fast
jab.
mid? Yeah, she can duck, but if you have like a mid that is kind of fast, I think you can beat her out.
June sadly only has the 13 frame.
Yeah. But yeah, that's like one counterplay basically. But yeah, if she's always spamming the string, you can just jab her. But the main counterplay to this move is I'd say sidewalking. Like if you're sidewalking, she really can't hit you. It's super linear and it's slow enough that like it won't like you'll be able to get away if you're even if you start sidewalking before she does the move, like it should be able to whiff.
Sure.
Yeah, see? So that's kind of how you stop it if they're really predictable. But it is a really strong move, and something that you'll see at every level of play as a way to like whiff punish, to set up back turn mix ups, or just like start your pressure that way, and like also close the distance. So
Sure.
yeah, definitely a key move to be aware of. Another one is this down forward three. It's a counter hit launcher. Wait, could you get hit by? Yeah, so it's a full launcher on counter hit. It is +3 on block. So it's a really strong move. Um, and I guess the counterplay is that it's pretty linear. Like if I try to do like if I'll do a down forward one and then sidestep, like you should be able to step the down forward three. And same with like if I do down forward three into down forward one, you should be able to step that. So yeah, there's a lot of like setups here where if you're trying to contest her on block, it also leaves you in crouching, so like you don't have as many options to like fight back if she's locking you down this way. Uh, but yeah, definitely one of her strongest moves. So that's a big one. Let's see. Out of her, it's like her QCF 3+4. Is like her other main plus frame move. I think it's like +6. It used to be homing. It's not anymore, but it's still quite hard to step. And it's just like it's a high, so you can duck it. But yeah, definitely a move that can be really annoying to deal with. She can like do that into this, and then she just maintains her plus frames and like will counter hit you for trying to press. So those are some of her like big pressure moves. This is, I guess, more of a key move than a low poke. It's down 1-2. It's a low high string, so if you block the low, you can stay crouching and launch it. Um, and she can go into the game lagged a bit. Okay, so then she can go into back turn or not. Um, this low is a pretty good one. It's
Oh
called Root of
yeah,
Evil 444.
that's a huge
It's
round winner.
yeah, super chunky low. It's pretty slow, but she can also counter hit confirm it into a heat engager. So it's really good. Um, and she likes to do it in like after knocking you down. Another key move, QCF3, which is new to this game. Could you just stay down after I knock you down?
Sure.
So basically, like you can loop this, and you have to tech roll to get out of it, but it's a really good reason to not stay down on the ground against Lili. What else is like really important with her? Back one is a move that I mentioned earlier. It transitions into her do glide stance, which is really nice for pressure. Has an extension that's unsafe. It's like -10 or 11. But yeah, you don't really want to press after it because of the threat of that extension. And it's just like a really interesting way to start her pressure. It's kind of slow, but yeah, she can kind of loop it into
And
itself.
people are
And
kind
then
of late
yeah,
to the game, but they're realizing all the elbow loops.
yeah, she has like back one loops. Can I do them a little bit? If I do this, I can do a bunch. Yeah. So like that's kind of like her only really high execution thing. It's not that hard, but it is kind of tricky timing wise. And it's also not that rewarding because the damage is not great, but it's good for wall carry. Oh, another key move that you really need to be aware of. Forward 4. It's a counter hit launcher. Amazing range. They added it towards the end of Tekken 7, but like she can hit you from like all the way up here. Um, yeah, really good move.
And pushes back.
Yeah, and it pushes you back, so it's safe. So one of those really annoying moves that you have to be aware of. What else? I'm trying to think. Going through like the list of moves that I tend to use with her. Oh, this move 3, um, it is a transition into back turn, but it also has extensions. Like it can has a heat engager. It can go into do glide. So like really really versatile move. Um, yeah,
Sure.
I
And
think. Oh, and I guess this move 3+4. It's a
oh
heat
yeah,
engager.
huge gap
Yeah,
closer.
yeah, really, really good distance. You can like really hit people from a while away, like quite a far range. It's a high, so you can duck it, and it's technically a homing move, but I think like it loses its homing properties at some point because it gets stepped a lot at the end of the animation. It's
Especially
kind
when
of
it's
weird.
at a further distance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's kind of what happens, but still a really good move. One of her new tools in Tekken 8.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
I feel like that's pretty comprehensive for her key moves.
what I think will come up naturally is a few more moves might come to your brain, especially as we get into the next section, which is what you really need to study specifically against Lily. She's one of the few characters that is so powerful in back stance, but her stances in general,
Yes. Yeah, so Tekken 8 really, really buffed her back turn stance, which is this stance. Um, and I'll go over all the options. It's like really strong. But if you just stay stand blocking, it's not as scary as it seems. The main move that she's trying to set up with this stance is this back turn 1+2. It's a full launcher on normal hit. It's like minus 12, I believe. So I think just about every character can get a while standing 4 punish now. Yeah, June can punish it really hard.
I
And
believe
so yeah,
it's only 10 frame, unless I'm wrong.
they nerfed it in this game. Like you should be able to do a while standing 4.
Okay, let's see.
But yeah, um, it basically the objective of her back turn stance is to land that move, in my opinion. And everything else kind of just sets it up.
Does that have
She has some
armor?
good It doesn't. No, it doesn't have armor, and I believe it can be stepped or like walked to the left. Wait, let me see. Like 1-1. Like after I do the string, try and sidewalk to the left. Yeah, see, so it can be stepped, but she has options to cover it, such as this, which is her homing move out of back turn, back turn 3/4. It's like minus 12 or 13 on block, so you can punish it. Um, yeah, but that's like her option to track stepping. And she also has a power crush, which is I think 10 minus 10 frames. So it's a little bit risky to mash against her in that stance. And her other mid is this, which is plus frames. You can just float it out of the air. Um, so that those are her mids. Her lows are like this, which is a little low poke. Down 2, which knocks down on counter hit. And gives you nice Oki. And then the one that is really, really annoying is this, down
Oh
3 plus
yeah.
4. It's technically reactable. If you're really looking for it, like you can block it on reaction, but you're gonna get hit by it pretty much like in unless you're like really sharp. So I guess the main counterplay to her back turn stance is like really really try and stand block because if she can't land this move, then like the best she's gonna get is this or this, which are not that scary. So like you really don't want to duck this stance unless you really have a good read on like one of her lows. Uh, but yeah, if you block that, it's launch punishable. Um, yeah, she can also do throws out of it. Like she can do generic throws, but there's no mix up. You can just one or two break like both of the throws that she's able to do. Yeah. So and so that's those are kind of the options she has in terms of getting into backturn stance. She has this really really nice new option 1-1. You can mash her out of it, but she has a string extension that counter hit launches. So it's like a pretty safe way to get into back turned. Um, and yeah, not something that you always want to contest. But if she finishes the string and you block it, wait, no, it's like minus 15.
Oh,
So it's
bad.
launch punishable. Yeah. So it's launch punishable, but just kind of the threat of it existing is like enough reason to not always mash her out of the stance when she does that. And that's something that you'll see a lot in her move list is like she has a lot of strings that like she can cancel in the back turned and you might want to mash, but then there's always like a little extension to get like to discourage that. So one that I like to use a lot is this. If you can try and mash her out of it, but she can finish it with a counter hit launching like if try and mash after this. Yeah, see, so it counter hit launches. Um, so yeah, that's another like string that can get her into back turned, but you might not want to contest in that situation.
Sure, sure.
She can get into back turn like this with a low poke, which is really annoying. She has plus frames on hit, and yeah, that's why this move is like so annoying because you can just do that into a back turn mix. She can also do this into back turned, and yeah, if it counter hits, she gets a guaranteed heat engager. What else does she? Oh, this little extension. This can either go into do glide, which is her other stance, or back turned.
All right, tell me
And
about
then
Do
this,
Glide.
yeah, do glide. So do glide's not really a mix-up stance. It's more of just like pressure. She can manually go into it like this, or she can transition into it with a few of her moves like this, um, this, this. She has a few different transitions. Um, and yeah, it's there's not really any lows. Like she can do like down four, or she can like cancel the do glide into crouching and do like this. But like none of the lows are very strong. Um, the main like options she has are a homing move, that's unsafe on block. Um, She has this little string that we mentioned earlier that kind of either leads into back turn pressure or this chip damage move that gets buffed in heat. She can do this, which is that Oki tool I mentioned earlier, and this plus frame move that I also mentioned earlier. So they're really good options, but they're all like high or mid, so you don't really have to worry about lows or like the only reason you'd really want to block in against Duglide or to duck against Duglide is this high, because it is really annoying to get to take this on block. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
So that
I'm
might be a
learning
reason to.
too. Because our
Yeah,
last episode, we were told to be scared of Asuka's lows, and it seems like Lily's trying to bait you into a mid crush because the lows aren't special unless it's a snake edge, like you said.
yeah. I heard lows. There's some that are really annoying, but I don't think they're like extremely scary, except for like maybe the back turn sweep or like this move, which is also very reactable. Um, but
Well,
yeah, nothing too much to be worried about. There's the slide, but it doesn't do a whole lot on normal hit. It's a counter hit launcher though. Um,
is there anything else for stances for Lily?
oh yeah, Feisty Rabbit is
Oh yeah,
technically
oh
a stance.
yeah.
Yeah, and we'll get a lot more into this in the heat section. But yeah, she can kind of like jump around like this. It's kind of cute. And she has a few different options. She has a low that is a counter hit launcher, this mid, and this other mid that's a heat engager that's safe. And she can also transition into do glide and do all her options that way. Yeah, and I guess full crouch is a stance. She has like this low that's like a counter hit launcher and also this mid, but nothing super special.
Well, you were kind of
But yeah,
alluding to the only thing I know about Lily, which is the first time I played her online and she started doing Feisty Rabbit like crazy. I'm like, what is this noob doing? And then I noticed her
yeah,
heat was still going.
yeah. So let me activate heat. So this is like her big heat mechanic is a buffed feisty rabbit. Um, and if she holds it down and does two jumps like this, she recharges her heat meter. So she can kind of just like stay at this range and just keep doing it. And there's not a whole lot that you can like do except for like try like actually engage with her. Um, and so the buffs she gets to Feisty Rabbit moves are this, which like out of heat, it's just like a pretty like okay low poke that it launches on counter hit, but in heat it knocks down on normal hit, which is really good.
Huh.
Um, okay, let me get back to the game.
Does it make any of her moves safer or just different in damage?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the damage on this move is like pretty buffed. Wait, can you get hit by this real quick? So this move, Piercing Thorn, is the other move that gets buffed in Heat, and she can also do it out of Feisty Rabbit. It gets like the big buff is at the wall. It's like +9 on block in Heat, which is crazy. Um, and she can also mix with her Heat Engager. But yeah, she can do that move, Piercing Thorn, just on its own. She can do 1, 2, 4. What else? Oh, this goes into Piercing Thorn, and it does a lot of chip damage as well. So it's a really strong heat move that yeah. Those are her two main buffs. It's just like Feisty Rabbit recharges on heat. Feisty Rabbit 3 becomes a normal hit knockdown. And Piercing Thorn gets like hella buffed. Um,
The other
and
thing
yeah,
I
so
was.
you'll see. Oh,
Oh no, go ahead.
yeah, so you'll see a lot of lilies do Feisty Rabbit like either at the wall, which like this stage is it's kind of hard to get to the wall, but yeah, you can do it at the wall for like basically a free 50/50. Oh, I fucked up. Um, or you can like do it out like after a combo. But if she's just doing it like this, like in the open, you can mash her out of it, yeah, and float her.
Okay. Yeah, I was.
It's like just about as evasive as her sidestep, but she can't block until the animation is over. So it's like it's more unsafe. But you can go over lows like for a couple frames. So yeah, the evasion's not that good. I think if you're playing Lily and you're trying to like evade moves, I would definitely just sidestep instead of using Feisty Rabbit. But if you kind of mix the two together, she can kind of just jump all over the place and be very confusing. Um, so yeah, that's I guess the meat of her heat system. In terms of her heat engagers, this is one, this is one. Out of back turn she has one. What else? Those aren't all her heat engagers.
I was gonna say in heat, her heat dashes seem
Oh,
extremely
this is one.
powerful.
Yeah, I haven't labbed them terribly much, but she can get quite a bit off of like this as a heat dash. And this is also a homing move, so yeah, really nice heat dash to do. I'm trying to think of other heat stuff. That might be it. Like, it's not like a huge change to the character, but Feisty Rabbit is just so powerful in heat that like it does make her super annoying, and like she can just keep doing it. So it's definitely something to watch out for. Don't stay on the ground. Like if she knocks you down with, oh, let me go into heat. Like if she knocks you down with this move, don't stay on the ground because she can just do it again. And do a lot of damage that way. Like you saw how much that took off. Um, so yeah, she really just forces you to interact with this mix-up that can be super annoying. Oh, that's another heat engager. This one. So yeah, she can get a launcher out of Feisty Rabbit and Heat too. So
Awesome.
crazy, really good.
Well, I think we're going to go over the next one a little bit quickly. I think this is kind of two phases, which is strings. Could you tell
Yeah,
us about strings that are important and key that Lily's going to do a lot? And could you, what will lead into our next section, tell us about strings that we should study, maybe ones that are duckable or fuzzyable?
yeah. So string wise, this down 1 2 string's really good, and it has an extension that is a high, I believe. Um, but yeah, not something you always want to press after. 2 2 4 is good. I think the last hit is punishable, but she can mix it with a high. Do glide one into its various string extensions. So 1 2 1 4. It's just like a nice pressure tool. I tend to use that on its own a lot. What else? While standing 1 2. which is her 13 frame Punisher. It can also transition into Do Glide now, and the extension that people get really annoyed with is 124, which like the last hit launches on counter hit, so you don't really want to press against it. What else? She doesn't have a ton of strings, honestly. Like, it's not the most like annoying string type of character to deal with. I guess this is a string with extensions. Um, this, if she jumps at you, it's like a mix up between this, which is a high, and this, which is very much a mid.
Sure.
Um, yeah, and this one is a little string, but like yeah, like I said, like not a ton of strings that I would be super super worried about. Again, the main one that you would want to like study or like practice against is low parrying this one. But don't like hold your crouch block or low parry because she can go into do glide and hit you with a mid.
All right.
Uh,
Well, that leads us into our next section, which is perfect. We've talked a little bit for over 20 minutes. I want to make sure that we kind of summarize some of the things we talked about. This may be some things you've already said, but in your opinion, what are the things that people should be studying? And when they're in the lab, what are the things they need to avoid or understand very quickly? Because we saw a lot of
yes,
moves, but I think, practice and punishment can only have so many.
yeah. So one big thing is please launch punish this. It's like a minus 18. It's so unsafe, but people don't always punish it. And if you let Lily get away with this move, like she's getting away with murder. Um, yeah, I tend to use it a lot after like a sidestep, or you can like sidestep into it and it becomes really really evasive because it's like the evasion from her sidestep combined with the evasion from this move. This move goes under like I think all highs and some mids, so just kind of
Oh,
crazy.
really?
So yeah, I've seen people get super robbed by it. Yeah, so definitely something to watch out for when you're playing against her, and practice punishing it, please. Um, she has a snake edge. This move, very very slow. You should always be launch punishing it. Um, what else? This move is also a reactable low that you should really try and launch punish. And practice launch like ducking and launching this string. Uh, can you duck? Yeah. The second hit's a high. So if she does the full string, you can always launch that. So please do, because it's another move that people complain about a lot, and it's launch punishable. Uh, what else? In terms of like, oh, this practice sidewalking and punishing it. Yeah, sidewalking or like jab floater out of it if she's like really predictable. Because that is definitely one of her more annoying moves. And yeah, if you can get a full combo off of it, like please do. What else? I would maybe like look at her transitions into back turn and like know what the mix turn like what the mix up is. Like this one that we mentioned. Yeah, it's launch punishable. Um yeah. What else? Learn how to like really focus on your homing moves and like how to shut down her stepping. June is a character that like I definitely like she has really good homing moves like down forward 3 or 4 I think. Yeah, that one's crazy. And make sure that you're practicing or like being aware of when she's trying to step and use if you have a fast homing move, like abuse that because you can really shut down some of her big tools. Um I guess another thing to like be aware of when you're labbing her is like moves that leave her at like a very slight frame advantage or disadvantage. So like this is like +3, this is -1. And that is like sort of the prime range of like when you can sidestep. So like if you get hit by or if you block this and then you try to mash, like she can usually sidestep. See, so like be aware of the sort of like the windows where Lily likes to sidestep. So this is one. Um, her after her jabs, she can sidestep. Yeah. So, um, like make sure you're not always just like pressing after you block moves against Lily is a big thing. Like she can blow you up for that.
Sure, sure. So one other thing that people asked is, are her power crushes any good? Or any of her armors
Her power
worth
crushes
much?
are good. Yeah. Oh, that's an option I forgot out of Douglide. She has a power crush now. They're all unsafe. I think they're like at least -10. Her back turn one I think is -10 or 11. Yeah, it's punishable. This is her normal power crush. That's like -12. Pretty standard mid power crush. And then this is also a pretty standard mid power crush, but it's like another like tool to discourage people from mashing against Douglide.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think those are all her power crushes.
Awesome.
They're pretty good. They're fine. You know, they're it's not like a defining aspect of the character, but she has some nice ones.
So we have just three more sections left, and we're home free, and we'll open up for our audience matches and everything. So we have Punishers. Tell us from
Yeah.
start to finish, what are Punishers, and also how unsafe are they if that Lily didn't get her frames right?
Yeah, Lily has really good punishment. Um, so her 10 frame Punisher, she has two. This one is tier 2 4 string, which is knockdown on yeah. It's a high high. Oh yeah, is that one? Yeah. So then the problem with this Punisher is that it whiffs a lot against certain like moves that it should punish frame wise, so you can't always use it. Um, so in cases where this will whiff, like against certain moves, she can do this, and she gets a back turn mix up. Um, so this is safe, but her 2/4 is safe, but it's a high high, so you can duck it. Yeah, duck it and launch it. 1/1 is also a high high, but it has that mid extension. The main like mind game is like whether or not she does the extension, which is launch punishable. But it's the extension's not guaranteed on normal hit. It's like I think if the first one counter hits, she gets the full thing. It's kind of weird. So that's her 10 frame punishment. Very good to have a knockdown. Like this move also wall splats, so it's pretty crazy for a 10 frame punish. I just wish it connected more consistently. I guess that's the weakness. For 12 frame, and really up to like 14 frames, this is probably the Punisher that most Lilies will go for. Forward 2 3. Um, it's a high mid string. The mid is -15, so launch punishable. I believe fight -15, but it's definitely launch punishable. It's a really good Punisher because it's got good range. She can like even after sidestepping something very small, like she can sidestep a jab and knock you down with that, and then that sets up her really good like Oki.
Interesting, because that does knock away a little bit. What do you kind of visualize when you land that punish?
Yeah, so there's a few options. So like after I hit you with this, if you stay on the ground, I can do that and just keep and get another like Oki situation. If you wake up, I can hit you with this. I can hit you with this if the timing's right. It's kind of like she kind of has to dash in, I guess, but
Does she
or she can
have
like
a 15 frame punish that's viable?
yeah, up
Oh, it's hop
just a
kick
hop
time?
kick. Yeah,
Yeah.
hop kick. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward hop kick. It's -13. Um, Yeah, nothing really special about it. She also has like a version of it that it's wait, not that one. It's like up three, no, up back three. No, I literally never use it. Is it up four? Yeah, it's up four. Um, it's like more of a defensive move. It launches on counter hit, but it's not really a punisher or anything. But yeah, her main 15 frame punish is that
Yeah,
hop kick.
it has odd knockback even when it hits.
Yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, just a really good tool for any Tekken character to have.
All right, and then going
Um,
big, you're 16 and up.
Yeah, 16 is down forward 2, which I guess I should have included as a key move because it's really good. It's -12 on block, I believe. But yeah, it's a full launcher. Pretty standard, like unsafe down forward 2, so it launches people who are crouching. And yeah, that's another move that you can really use after side steps pretty consistently. Um, yeah, and she can also transition into back turn. So that's a good Punisher. And then her like big like unsafe move Punisher would be Matterhorn, which is 18 frames. Wait, how? what's the yeah? So she can do while standing too, which is basically like a slightly better version of this. Like they're technically different moves, but they're very similar. And they both can transition into back turned. Um, yeah, pretty good. In terms of like her while standing punishment, this is her 13 frame Punisher, and she has like a pretty good while standing for like slightly unsafe lows. Like it knocks down, which is good. And then she has this, which is like I don't think you'd ever really use it as. I guess there's a couple situations, but like it's the same startup as this, but it instant tornadoes instead of giving you like a full combo. I think the main advantage to it is that it has an extension, so it can be technically like kind of safe, and it also has evasion, which is pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah,
So tell
I'd
us
say those are
about
yeah.
Lily's grabs.
Her grab game is like not super full. Like she has generics and a 1+2. So this is her 1+2 throw. And aside from that throw, everything else can be broken with either one or two. So this can be broken with one or two, and so can this. This breaks the floor on like stages like what's it called? Like
Descent into the
the
subconscious.
yeah. Floor break stages basically. This is like a really something you need to watch out for. Her 1+2 throw doesn't, so yeah.
Awesome.
And then she can also access her generic throws out of back turn, but she can't do the command grab. So you don't have to worry about like the 1+2 throw. Just
All right.
always break with one or two.
Quick and simple, unlike a lot of the other characters we're going to be reviewing. Can't wait for the King episode, and we're going to be sitting there for
Exactly.
half the
Yeah.
entire show.
Yeah. She's not really a grappler by any means, but
Yeah, so
throws
besides
are still
the
good.
one that floor breaks, is there a throw that you tend to go for in match situations or when you're checking someone?
I usually only mix the one that floor breaks and the 1+2. Um, just because like I have the floor break one bound in my like controller settings, just because it is really versatile. And I think wait, can you break it? I think it is the one that side swaps. No, does this one side swap on break? No, I think it's like certain situations she can side swap, but yeah.
It just depends on the legendary Tekken camera angles, which.
Yeah, basically, like it's kind of inconsistent, but
All
yeah, I
right.
just mix her the floor break throw and her command grab.
All right. Well, to launch and to kind of give us our ending to this key section in our matchup Monday with Lili, we got to ask you the most fun part is please show us some combos. Please show us
Yes.
some of your moves. Please have fun with it.
Yeah, I feel like my combos are not that good with her. I do like kind of a lot of sort of modified versions of my Tekken 7 combos. But the main staple one that you're gonna use for a lot of her moves is like launcher into forward 2-3, and then I think you're supposed to like do that. But what I do, just because it's more a lot easier and more consistent, is like this into this into this, and then that into a tornado, and that's a good ender. Pretty universally is so the notation would be like in this case down forward 2, forward 2-3, forward 3, um, do glide 3, and then the ender is like let me just do the combo again. So then the ender for that combo would be 4-4-3 into 1-4. So that's pretty good. Um, oh yeah, so off like this, she can extend combos like that. Um, I use that after a low parry too. So like after like an instant tornado or a low parry, you can pick up like that. Oh wait, I should do the actual combo that I said I was gonna do. Into down forward 3, and then extend with 3-4, back turn 3-4. And then back 1 into an ender.
And I know
Going into like sorry.
oh yeah, a big part of Lily's game is the counter hit conversions.
Yeah. So off like counter hit forward 4, you can do while standing 2. What would I do? Like I think you can do forward. down forward 2+4. I'm trying to think of like somewhat easy combos. Because like what I would do is like this into that, and then like doesn't work on female characters all the time. I guess this is the combo that I would do. That's a pretty good one.
I guess the last question we have is there any beginner-friendly combos if you were showing someone Lili for the first time, or if they're
I
starting
feel like these are, they are kind of the beginner-friendly combos. Like,
yeah.
I could get into like her more advanced stuff, which is like basically do glide cancels, but you really don't need that with her until you really want to optimize your wall carry. Yeah, I think the main staples are just like launcher into 4-2-3 into something like this. Oh, into that. And like a more advanced version of that would be like this into that. Oh, I mess it up, which is like part of the reason why I don't always do it. But and then she can do like that. Yeah, it's kind of inconsistent, but yeah, that's like kind of the basics of her combo game. I don't think her combos are that hard, but like if you really want to like master her combos, it can get pretty hard. And that's why I don't really do her hard combos a lot.
Well, with that, I think that is about it. Now, the journey is very, very long, and a matchup is never truly over. Is there any
Absolutely.
last thoughts, anything that you forgot, or just any quick tips that you can think of that you may have forgotten to learn about Lili or playing against Lili?
Yeah, I think just to summarize, like, she's a really well-rounded character. Like, the main weakness that people say she has is that her moves are very linear, which kind of like it works both ways because her sidestep is so good that she can make you feel very linear. But in general, I feel like her kit is super, super well balanced. She just doesn't have a lot of like really scary lows, like she doesn't have a hell sweep or anything. And yeah, like if you can kind of nullify her gimmicks, like react to the stuff that you need to be reacting to, and punish the stuff that you really need to be punishing, I don't think she's like the worst character in the game to deal with. Like, but she's very strong, and I'm not trying to downplay her.
All right, we'll end this episode with one last thought, which is there anything that you could tell Harada about Lili? Is there any buffs or nerfs that you think need to happen for your girl, or personal picks?
I mean, if they keep her exactly the same, like, I would love for her to not get nerfed in this next big update because I think she's in a really, really good spot. Yeah, I don't know. I think she's really good right now. And coming from Tekken 7, like, she got a lot of really big buffs that I think I'm very happy about. Give her a hell sweep, and she'd be really good.
No, that warms my heart to hear because honestly, every time I put someone in the hot seat, they've always wanted more and had, a lot of gripes. I'm really, it's refreshing and it's really invigorating to hear someone say, I like her where she's at. Of course, we could get some more to her, but it's really warming to hear that. So thank you for that.
For sure. Yeah, I'm so happy with Tekken 8 Lili. Like, she had some, like, flaws in Tekken 7 that were, like, you can work around them, but it made it really annoying to, like, operate at higher levels. But I think she's good at every level now.
All right. Well, with that, I do want to say congratulations. I did remember that you won your first big tournament recently, and I mean, always love to see a Lili shine, and we want to see you keep growing. Are you going to any bigger tournaments this year? You gonna be at Combo Breaker?
I'm gonna be at Combo Breaker. I'm from Chicago, so I have to go, I feel like.
Heck yeah.
I'm super, super excited about that. Other than that, I don't really have any plans to go to big events or anything. I think I'm just gonna do locals mostly, but if the opportunity arises, I wouldn't mind to go to, like, something bigger. But Combo Breaker's the focus for now.
All right, Loose Leaf. Well, thank you so very much. This was so helpful.
Thank you, Maya.
This was amazing, and hopefully we can see your growth of your Lili and more tournaments to come. This has been episode 2 of Matchup Mondays. I am your host, Maya. We are hosted on Anya's Fight Club Discord, and I am with your host, Loose Leaf. Take it away, Loose Leaf. Thank you so very much.
Yes, thank you all. Follow me on Twitter.
Say it one more time for me because I'm going to say your name wrong 50 times.
Oh yeah, it's Lily Pinality. It'll be linked in the video somewhere. But I post like clips sometimes. Sometimes I shit post. Like, it's a good time.
It's the only way we'd have it, honestly. Well, thank you so much. We have a little overlay that has your Twitter on there now. This
Awesome.
is Matchup Mondays too. Have a great one, everyone. Keep studying.
Thank y'all.